Hey everybody, Jeff aka GCurse here along with Aaron aka Anavrin.
Everybody.
Welcome to episode number 2 of Shooting the Shit with Jeff and Aaron. I apologize if I look really dark today. It's currently it's fucking hot out here. I'm not even gonna pull words. It's fucking hot.
It's a
And
historic heat wave.
yeah.
We should be honored to be alive during this,
Shit.
really.
Fuck,
It's magical time.
I'd rather be dead if it meant having to deal with this shit, but that means I'd leave my family, and I don't want to do that.
Right.
But hold on. So let me see here. Let's do a share because I want to pull it up. Currently, it went down 2 degrees.
Oh, it did. Okay.
Yeah.
So only 110 tomorrow.
Yeah, only 110. But I read a thing on Facebook saying that we could pass us from the Northwest Emergency Medical Response Team or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually saying 115 possibly tomorrow.
Oh, really?
No, okay. It's hot. I will give them the fucking benefit of the doubt for today. It's fucking hot, but right. It's like we're entering temperature levels here that you should only find in Death Valley.
It is a head scratcher. I mean, to be obliterating records, and I mean, you've lived in Longview, Kelso area your whole life.
Almost, yeah.
It used to be that we would get rain pretty. I mean, they'd say like January, right?
Yeah.
It was going to rain until after July 4th, and sometimes on the 4th it would rain.
Yeah.
I know the last couple of years it's got hot earlier, but this is like ridiculous.
This is not good. Okay.
I think they said like 40 degrees above average in some places.
Oh fuck. And the thing is, this is not supposed to end until like Tuesday. And then Tuesday, they're saying like, let me see again. It says 88 for Tuesday, but still, we still have 2 more days of this shit.
Yeah, I'm really, tomorrow will be interesting. I did go out a little bit when it was 102 today, just to kind of get an idea. But then, 10 degrees hotter tomorrow. We'll just have to see.
I woke up this morning, like we were talking about prior to the show, and I right now I'm more operable, I guess you could say, but this morning I've been dealing with fucking headache and nausea and all that, and I'm wondering if it's because honestly, until just prior to dinner, I really didn't have much to drink, so I'm wondering if that had something.
Yeah.
So I had Mom go get me some ice and a nice lemonade,
and that'll fix you up.
Yep. Hold on.
Fucking lemonade is the secret.
Yeah.
For hot weather.
There it goes. Okay. But okay, so people can see here. Sorry, guys, I'm kind of. So here is tonight's topics. The first topic is going to be Aaron's choice, which is politics. Next one, I figured we'll kind of, just have a little bit more fun and do childhood toy memories. And basically, this can be whatever you want to talk about. Like me, And then I will take the first wild card, which I actually have a pretty deep and insightful
topic. Good. I'm excited about that.
Yeah. and I think that also kind of explains some of my mental difficulties that I have, psychological issues.
Oh, fun. Okay.
And then Aaron will have his wild card,
which I'm ad-libbing today. I don't even know what it's going to be. I'm going to let it flow and see what happens.
Hey, that's fun.
Freestyle.
Yeah.
Okay. Episode number 2.
Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, Aaron, let's talk about politics.
Okay. So politics is one of those things you're not supposed to talk about. And you know me pretty well.
Yeah.
If you're not supposed to talk about something, that's exactly what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Which generally does not go over very well. So it feels like anybody you try to talk politics to nowadays, it's a dead end. Like it's gonna die in flames and it'd be ugly on either side, really. So that's why I like to talk to you. Like, I feel like even when we disagree, we can like still like each other and like get along and try to see it from another point of view, and we don't have to change each other's minds even.
Yeah.
We kind of just go with it. So
or we just leave it be,
right, like agree to disagree.
That's one thing. If you ever go, I know you're on Facebook, but I mean, like, if you actually look at some of these things, it's so fucking extreme. There is no middle ground. You're either ultra Democrat or ultra Republican.
It makes you wonder, like, what does it even mean to be an American anymore? Like, because, if the Democrats hate the half of America that are Republican, the Republicans hate the half of America
Yeah.
that's Democrat. What is an American? Like, I don't even know.
I think honestly what it is that honestly I think once Trump, now I'm not saying this to bash Trump, so but I think that once he was elected in 2016, it literally just kind of blew that door open.
Yeah.
And the door is like literally holding on by one hinge, and it's never going to fucking shut now.
Right, the door's busted.
Yeah, because
we got to come up with a new plan.
Yeah, because if anything, it has shown people that we can be open to a certain point because the internet, you have that anonymity, But
Right.
I'm not saying that it was bad before. It was definitely bad before, but now it's like in your face.
I think what I was surprised at in 2016. I mean, so I described myself prior to the Trump era, let's just say, as passionately apolitical. That's what I tell people. They'd be like, "Oh, are you a Democrat or Republican?" I mean, no, I'm passionately apolitical, and usually they would like look at me weird, and that was the end of that.
Yeah, you'd be the type of guy where like you either like there's like three groups of people I remember when it came to Transformers.
Oh yeah.
You were the type that liked Transformers, you liked Voltron, or you're one of the pussies that liked GoBots. and the fucking two main groups fucking just beat up on the fucking GoBots all the time. Yeah.
Right.
But go ahead. Sorry.
I vaguely remember was Scooter a GoBot? That's the only GoBot I can remember.
I honestly can't recall, to be honest.
They had a motorcycle guy as a bad guy. I can't even remember.
Cygor. I think Cygor or something like that.
We can talk about that when we get to toys.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like being passionately apolitical, I just meant like I hate politics. I don't like either side. It's like playing a game for me. Like, who's your favorite child molester, or who's your favorite serial killer? Like, none of them. Zero of them. I wouldn't back up any of them in a fight. Like I wouldn't risk anything.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
For either side.
Definitely not piss on them to save them or anything.
No, they could burn for all.
Me, I'm kind of the same same place you are. But whereas you have a nice, elegant way of saying, you got, it's like a surgical scalpel when you talk. Me, it's like a fucking hammer.
Right.
It's like
you got the Negan Lucille back.
Yeah. And
blood and guts still just ornamenting it a little bit.
But the thing is, like, I will be, on like before I got shadow banned from KGW News's Facebook. They made it so I cannot fucking see all their news things because I'm so radical in how I think,
Yeah.
Like when Trump was first elected, I made it known I hate him as a person.
Right.
I hate him as a person. I didn't know, he wasn't president that long to really form an opinion. I hate him outright as a person. Well, then, I will say, I used to say that on KGW, then you'd have a Democrat come up to me and go, "Hey, I like how you think. You should be, you should like, fuck you. I hate Democrats too. I hate your group.
Bill and Hillary Clinton.
I hate Democrats as much as I fucking hate Republicans."
Right.
And oh my God, it's like, when I say that, it's like, then all of a sudden both sides start rallying against me. It's like, "Oh, you're right. I'm the piece of shit, huh?"
Right. And then what's their argument? Like, I don't exactly know what they're
because
I know I'm wrong. Like, whenever I argue with both sides, like I know that I'm in the minority. Like nobody's gonna agree with me, but I'm not exactly sure like who they think America is, or who they think like
America. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say to me it was always like pageantry, right?
Yeah.
It's like the queen or the king or whatever, except we elect ours.
Yeah.
And then they're just rich people who jockey for position, try to hurt each other, stab each other in the back, blackmail each other. Like it's what they do for fun.
Yeah.
And
that's why they hate me, because I'm like, I fucking hate both groups. And I'm not really fond of independence either. Just leave me the fuck alone, because my opinions, like I think we talked about it either in the pilot episode of this one or the episode 1, My opinions regarding politics are so fucking radicalized. If you had a meter, that motherfucker would have a concussion going back and forth.
Right.
Like,
Anytime anyone thought they had you figured out, then you throw the curveball.
like, and the thing is like, I always tell mom, if I ran this country, and I know that the minute I say that, a lot of people would say, from what you say, you sound like a dictator, and that may be.
Right.
But the thing is, whereas other people are like, vote for me and I'll help you. It's like, I would make it known outright, a vote for me equals a vote basically of like Negan,
Right.
I will fucking lock shit down, but I have your, best interest at mind. I told my mom, because like, we are always hearing about prison overpopulation and stuff.
Yeah.
One of the, like, it would take time, but if I became president, as much as I hate the fucking term because it means that I'd have to be part of a party, voting for me, there is no party when it comes to me. There's just me, like. And right. I told mom regarding the prisons, if I ran this country, the first thing I would do is, now this is where like people think, oh great, like ultra, Democrat, but wait till you hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
I would shut down all the prisons.
Mm.
Now this, oh hallelujah, he's a Democrat. No, fuck you, I'm not a Democrat. What I would do is I would shut down all the prisons. I would invest in tech firms that would have. I actually saw this. I think it was on an episode of Star Trek a long time ago, where they would inject a micro explosive into the people's their jugular vein.
Right.
Empty these fucking prisons, haul them all out into the desert over here, like in Nevada and stuff, where the desert is. I would have them doing shit that would make them wish, the ones that are, especially the ones on death row, they would fucking wish that they were put to death by the time they were done, because I told mom what I would do is I would have like these prison camps where there's just tents, and, from sun up to sundown, their only job would to be build big high-rise buildings. Okay. And then like, this is why I say, here's the part where they would wish that they were dead. they these things would take years to build. Like, I'm not talking like a 2-story apartment. I'm talking like 40-story building.
Right.
Have them build these fucking buildings, and then and like I said, they would all be doing this, and then the building would be like done. It'd be like, hey, we made that. We're done. We're done with our sentence, right? I would have it set up where the wardens, they'd be like, fuck no, you're not done. Now you're going to tear that shit down. Wait, what? Tear the motherfucker down. It all comes down the next day. Okay, guys, here's what we're doing. That building you tore down, you're building right back up. They will do this until they either fucking die or they just die, because because this is my country. There would be no fucking, like, especially for death, people do death,
Right.
I feel life for a life.
Sure. How do you decide though? Like, what about like white collar crimes or like drug offenses? Like, do they have to go into the building?
They would still do it, but I'm pretty sure that there would be a thing that there would be more of a number of sentence given to them.
I actually thought you were heading in a different direction at the beginning of that, and I was like, "Oh, that's a good idea," but then you went really hardcore on it. But what if, like, if you got rid of all the prisons,
okay,
and you inject them with a microchip in their jugular,
yeah,
but you also like have cameras on them, like you can track them and whatever they do, and if they screw up,
cameras can fail though. Cameras can fail.
Well, like if it's implanted too, like modern technology somehow, like I don't know how you do it. Like you can track people with satellites and that kind of stuff.
Well,
but essentially, like you give them their freedom and you just let them know, look, you have a measure of freedom. You're walking around in society, but we watch everything you do. We listen to everything you do. And if you cross the line, that's the end.
To me, murderers, no matter, unless that murder is fucking justified.
Okay, but what percentage of people in prison do you think are murderers? I mean, it's got to be like nothing, like 0.02% or something.
I'm not sure. I would have to look at that if I ever ran this country. But knowing the fact that people would be like, even both Democrats and Republicans probably gang up against me, and like, oh no, he's too fucking radical. We can't let him, because the next thing we know is like he would fucking be walking around with a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire,
Right.
But and the thing is like I told Mom regarding the White House. To me, I saw a video that fucking made me throw up. It was on YouTube, and it's like what the previous administrations have done to leave their mark on the White House.
Right.
And some of them, you would not believe the shit that goes into that place. There's like gold-plated dishes. To me, marble floors. Why? You're supposed to be the house of the people. Why do you get fucking marble floors while I'm walking on torn up carpet?
Right.
Hold on. The thing
The
is,
pink blob is attacking you.
Yeah.
The octopus sent the pink blob.
It's to me, that is not a house of the people. That is a den of opulence, and that's not what the fuck I am.
Good word, opulent.
But going back to the prison camp in the desert, what I would do is I would have, like I said, the things injected into people,
right?
And then there'll be like those fucking invisible fences that you torture your poor dog with.
Oh, right. If you cross the line.
You cross the line, your throat gets blown out.
Oh, okay. It doesn't just shock them at first. You right.
No, it's an explosive. It's put right into their vein, in their neck.
Okay.
You fucking. So
there was a movie called Battle Royale, and I think the second one they had collars that would blow their heads clean off. Maybe even the first one.
I heard of it. I swear I got the idea from Star Trek. I can't recall though, to be honest. It's been
right. I'm sure it's been in politics a few times. So to finish up on politics, I was going to say.
Okay.
So I actually, despite hating politics, I think the real government in America is capitalism, and I actually kind of like capitalism, except for that it's going to consume everything and destroy the planet. But the part I like about it is like it's fair, right? Like everybody votes with their dollar. Like our votes don't count when we vote for president and stuff like that. That's why it's always 50-50, or the popular vote, winner loses. Like Hillary and Al Gore both won the popular vote and lost in the Democratic country. So whatever, that's whatever. But we vote with our money, and then our money makes oligarchs, and they influence government or blackmail people or whatever. Like I do not believe any politician is not owned or isn't corrupt. I think they just all are, and it's all just a puppet show. But that's fine. Let them do their puppet show. But what pisses me off is they don't leave enough for like every American should be able to just work and own a home.
Yeah.
And then they can play their games. They can be opulent. They can take their trips to space or whatever, but they always have to do it. So the bottom line is even minimum wage earners should have enough to just work a 40-hour week, retire when they're 65 with a paid off mortgage.
Yeah.
And we're not there. So that's
sad state of our country,
Right.
But regarding like, I know I sound really cruel when I talk about how I would deal with things. Like I mentioned it on Unsolved Mysteries a couple of times when there were people who did like some extreme wrongs,
Yeah.
If I had a choice, if I ran this country, there courthouses where they try the cases where people have killed somebody there wouldn't really even be a fucking court, case per se anymore. If it's shown that you killed somebody without justification, that's it. You don't get a fucking plea deal. You don't get a lawyer. You just get to look at the judge, and the judge is going to say you have two choices to die. One of the choices is always a guarantee. The guarantee is whatever the judge chooses. The quote unquote defendant, the murderer, they would have a choice of how they could go out. And the way that they would go out is, like I said, imagine the courthouse. Every courtroom is at the height of where like the Space Needle is. You can fucking jump out that window. and
like Game of Thrones did that. They had a sky.
Oh, they did?
Where they throw people out.
Well, no, they wouldn't even throw. They throw themselves out. They jump out. If you fly like the fucking angel and splat into the ground, but yet you can still crawl away, you get to live. But here's the catch. You may get to live, but there will be no help offered to you. So you're still going to be in the fucking world of pain.
Right.
But, I'm fucking too radical. Is that the right word to think of myself? You know, like
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, I think the hard part is how do you determine, like, I mean, the Bill of Rights protects people from like illegal search and seizure and like all these different things, right?
yeah,
Like, what's hard is to determine guilt beyond a reasonable doubt or just to be absolutely sure. And then when you're not sure, like, let's say you send an innocent man off that cliff, like
yeah.
off the Space Needle, then do you feel bad about it or you just go like,
No,
collateral damage?
yeah. If he fucking
But what if it was you or your mom or something that was collateral damage? Like, it becomes a difficult thing.
if it was me, then I figured I did something wrong and I deserved to be.
Well, if you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time and it looks always like,
Well, there has to be proof,
circumstantial.
though. You know, there has to be proof.
Right. I think
But
that's where it's hard, like, well, I mean, I don't want to get into specific cases.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry about like me being me. Like
No,
it's
I think it's
just
fine. I get where you're coming from, like
and
it makes you
then
mad and the life for a life stuff, like that's fair.
yeah, and then the thing also is like to me, granted, we need money to survive.
Mhm.
Hell, I've I've been saving up. I don't have a king's fortune saved up, but I have enough saved up, so I know the value of how important money is. But if I
Mhm.
ran this fucking country, I know once again there's a freaking phrase. Because I don't like the fact I don't like the idea of money because it has somebody's face on it.
Mhm.
It means that you're fucking kind of like it's like an acknowledgement thing for that person,
Right. Almost like it used to have the kings
Yeah.
face on it.
For me, if this is my country, you work for fucking points.
Mm.
And that is something I will say I got from Negan. There is several ways you can get points. You could work an honest job. You may be sweaty and tired by the end of the day, but you get to live like a king.
Mm-hmm.
You will work for points against your will, but you'll fucking wish that you changed your mind, or you will be put to some fucking task that is so horrendous that when you're dead, you're still serving a purpose to the people.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh God, and this delving into Jeff Miller's mind has been brought to you by do not braid with me. Do not braid with me has been the best thing I could ever suggest. Okay, is there anything else? I mean, I don't want to sound pushy.
You won my vote. No, I think we did good.
Okay, and thank you for your vote. But like I said, if you vote for me, I'll talk about that later. Fucking Christ. Yeah, hold on. I can't even fucking scratch my nose without the shit blotting out on me.
Right.
But yeah, I'll talk about my other ideas for a presidential run in the year 20 never. Okay, but next, let me pull this up. Next. We're kind of taking a deep breath because you just heard a madman talk about how he wants to throw people out a window. We are now going to talk about our childhood toy memories. Okay, so hold on, let's close that. Okay, fuck, there it goes. Okay, so I will start. There are only two toy brands that I can really remember having like lasting, like first time memories. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ninja Turtles and Transformers.
Okay, yeah.
Ninja Turtles, I think it was like my 6th or 7th birthday. My mom it was one of the few times, I think maybe the only time, but I had a birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend at the time, I don't know whatever happened to him. His name was Jesse. He got me my very first Ninja Turtle action figure. It was Rocksteady the Rhinoceros.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking Rocksteady. It was fucking awesome. The thing is like this Rocksteady, I'm not sure if it was a design flaw or it was something that they were trying to go with. I don't understand it. But the Rocksteady I had actually a hollow rubber head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you could literally squeeze the fucker,
right.
And I don't understand the purpose of it because my cousin Mike and Matt, they got a Rocksteady figure down the road and its head was actually hard,
Oh, gotcha. So you could ram.
Yeah, so it's like, and that was the only figure I can recall that had a hollow head like this. I'm wondering if it was
The Ninja Turtles didn't have squishy heads too.
no, they were hard.
Okay.
They were hard.
A lot of the toys at the time had squishy heads. I think just because they were molds, like they
Yeah,
formed
but
around.
yeah, so that there's that, and then I think I may have mentioned it before. I can't recall, or maybe I told you in person. When I had, when I was collecting Ninja Turtles, first was Transformers and then it was Ninja Turtles. So Ninja Turtles was after Transformers. But I remember going to Target opening day with my mom. And they had, like, I think literally like me and my mom were either the first or second people into the store when they first opened up the very first time. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so hold on, let me pull up the thing there. I'm gonna pull up, see if I can show you the Ninja Turtle that I got.
Oh yeah.
Scumbug Transformers. It was an evil mutant named Scumbug.
Okay.
And it was basically a mutated cockroach. Huh. I don't know the lore of it. Could have hold on. And there it goes. It's just
I
being
don't
slow.
remember that at all. It's weird.
I think the lore was it could have been like an exterminator who ended up getting the ooze on him, and he ended up becoming a cockroach, the thing he hated,
Right.
But
the irony.
Yeah. the thing is, a lot of the people who turned into mutants was like due to their hubris and stuff,
Right. That's true.
But
there's a lesson in there.
Yeah. Well, I remember this. It's always going to be the fucking, like, one of the things I remember the most. It's that's one because of the fact that, like, my mom, I think she got her a new purse at the time. I can't recall, but this was like 86 or 87, I think it was. It was good times.
Yeah.
And then me and mom would go to KB Toys.
Yeah.
God, I wish KB's was still open.
I didn't realize Target was open that far back.
Oh yeah,
what year did they open up around here?
The mall opened up. I think the mall opened up in 87.
Okay.
It opened up just
weird. And Target was there at the original?
No, they opened up. I think it was shortly after the mall opened up. Because they were, if I remember correctly, they were in a rush to get that mall open because basically the economy in the area. The economy has never really been the greatest.
Yeah.
But it was actually tanking really bad at the time. It's like because they didn't even have the restaurants that are out there now. Izzy's was not there.
Yeah.
Oh god, there's a Mexican restaurant over there. I can't recall what the name is.
Oh yeah, Azteca.
Yeah, Azteca. Yeah. They were not there at the time. The hotel wasn't there at the time. Oh, hotel started coming. They started building in like 99. Safeway's originally Tops was not there. It was literally just the mall, along with a whole bunch of plots that were being worked on.
Right.
And they're like, well, maybe we should wait to open the mall. No, open that shit up. We gotta get that motherfucker open as quick. Open it up, And the thing is, if I remember correctly, I think that the stores were not even ready to open up. A lot of them were still closed.
Yeah, for a long time, I think, actually. Like Sears, I think, opened way before.
Yeah, they had delayed grand opening and stuff. But yeah, so me and mom, we went over to the mall one time to KB Toys. And this is the way that it used to be. Nowadays, figures like Ninja Turtles or Transformers. Hey, let's pull up a Transformers or Cybertron Kingdom crate, maybe. They may have an image. Probably not. Well, normally the way it is nowadays are you have these cardboard boxes, and then each box is like, depending on the size of the figure, it can range from like 15 of the small figures, or maybe just 4 of the bigger ones. Well, back in the day with Ninja Turtles, me and mom went to KB Toys one day. It was a Saturday, and they were not open yet because the stores did not open till like 10, if I remember correctly, back then on Saturday. But the thing is that the workers are already there working, doing inventory and everything, Well, the gate started coming up, because it was time to open up, and me and mom went in there one day, and they had not just a box, but they had a huge fucking cardboard crate. I mean, like what you'd need a pallet jack to lift up.
Oh, wow.
And I remember like just going ape shit crazy. I never saw that many fucking Ninja Turtles because I never saw them unpacked like that.
Right.
And I'm like, can I look at these? And they're like, sure, yeah, go ahead and take a look, and I think I got like 3 that day. One of them was the mutant rabbit Usagi Yojimbo.
I don't remember that one either.
Yeah, here, let's see.
Were they in the cartoon?
One episode, I think it was. It was mainly supposed to be a crossover for a manga, if I remember correctly.
Oh, interesting.
This is a Usagi Yojimbo.
We were taught that the Ninja Turtles were conceptualized by people who were on drugs and that they were demon possessed.
Oh,
at my church.
But this is
that's cool.
Yeah, let's see if I can find a Ninja Turtle figure though. Ninja Turtle 1980, let's say 89 maybe. I'm just giving a roundabout because I don't know. Okay, this is what it looks like.
Ah, nice. That's cool.
But the downside of this figure is his ears, they were not sturdy. So if you play with the figure and then you play with the ear, the ears will break off. God,
no, bummer.
Damn, yeah. Oh, here's what the figure looked like in the package.
Huh.
So Usagi Yojimbo. There was a frog. I can't recall what it was.
Was there a reason you didn't choose like the regular turtles? Like,
well, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean choose regular turtles?
Leonardo and
because I already had them at the time.
You already did. Okay, so you're like adding all the more.
Oh yeah, I the minute I got Rocksteady, that was like the de facto want for me, and my mom, the poor lady. Here, actually, oh my God, speaking of the cause for her to have nightmares, literally for eons after. April O'Neil, for some reason, check out below. How do I? Oh fuck, you're gonna. Okay, I'm not a robot. Yeah. Well, the thing is, no, robots can't be as illogical as I am. Okay, there it goes.
Okay.
For some reason, they made April O'Neil like the ultra rare character.
Oh.
My mom, she would spend days, not like just like a couple minutes. The poor lady would spend days when she had free time going to Target, going to KB Toys.
Really?
Yeah.
In search
of April O'Neil.
Wow.
And then the only other place I can recall besides KB Toys and Target was Fred Meyer's. Because Walmart did not move into the area yet.
Right.
And she always had no fucking luck until one day, I'm not sure if a worker at Fred Meyer remembered her or just felt poor pity for this lady. My God, this poor lady
coming in every day.
Yeah, literally, and he finally got one, and apparently he held it for her.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's like fucking like, and the thing is, April O'Neil, if I remember correctly, she was the like part of the first wave. There was like there's Splinter, the 4 Turtles, Shredder, Bebop, Rocksteady, and Krang.
No Casey Jones.
Maybe Casey Jones. Let's take a look here. Let's see here. How much time do you have? I don't want to take all your time.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
Like an hour.
Okay. eBay. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1980 88, let's say. Normally you can find somebody who's selling them that has like
vintage.
Yeah. But this lovely figure here, Michelangelo, one of a kind, can be yours.
$375.99.
Oh, you think that's something? Hell, look at Tattoo. Oh, I thought that said $599.
Oh.
but you can have a 1988 Donatello for $244. So
They really weren't kidding when they said don't remove it from the package.
yeah, and
But
but
then
then
you
again,
can't play with them.
okay, here's a picture of the
Oh, cool. There's the original. Yeah.
yeah. So
Okay.
the
Yeah.
first wave did not have Krang. I can't recall if Krang was
Yeah.
in it, but yeah. So
Huh.
if I knew then what I knew now,
Right.
but then again, I have all my Transformers and they're already out of the package, so I still would not fucking listen. I know it's weird. I'd rather lose the value because it's granted I understand the point of
Right.
having them kept in the package, for value.
Right.
But wouldn't it feel better to take it out, pose it and put it on a shelf? Like
Yeah.
I do not play with my toys, Mom. What are you doing over there? Okay.
The peanut gallery back there.
But
I think if you think about it like this, right? So it's 30 years, right?
yeah,
It's like 10 cents a day. That's how you would have
Yeah.
saved. Right?
yeah.
It's worth it to play with it. It's only 10 cents a day. And at the end of it, $375. But if you didn't play with it the whole time, I mean, man, invest in stock or something.
Well, the package is also damaged by the looks of it, so it's probably not worth that. The 375, I'm pretty sure that may be asking a little bit too much for it, considering the damage that the pack has.
Right.
But yeah, it's just I the minute I got that rock steady,
it was over.
Yeah, it was over. As much the weird thing is I like Transformers when I was younger. Ninja Turtles came, they came on the scene and they became like the de facto thing for like the next 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next thing was the Marvel Toy Biz. Let's see here. Marvel Toy Biz X-Men. We're like these ones, like the X-Men.
Oh, okay.
And
they
that
all kind of followed along with popular
yeah,
cartoons at the time, right?
It did. It really did, And then it went, and then this was like this was like besides Transformers, because you know how big my collection is. My collection is huge,
right.
Besides my current collection, my X-Men collection, I actually still have them. They're in the storage unit. I dread to see what kind of shape they're in now after 20 plus years of being in a crate, in a hot room,
Oh yeah.
But and the thing is, they were also taken out of the package. But this is like the biggest set I have besides the Ninja Turtles, the Transformers. And I stopped collecting them in 2000 because at that point Marvel. This is before the renaissance of Marvel now,
Yeah.
They kind of died out. And then I really did not collect anything from 2000 all the way to like 2016. I think it was like 16 years roughly.
Really?
And then I don't know what it was, but something just kind of nipped me. Hey, it's like, why don't you go, see what Transformers are like? And I can remember the first Transformer of my collection that I have now. Let's see here. Soundwave Titans Return. It was Transformers Soundwave Titans Return. And the reason I went with him, I can actually remember, the logic for getting this one was when I was younger, I always wanted the Soundwave, but money and everything, you can only get what you can get. And I to this day I still think Soundwave is the coolest Transformer.
Was it Soundwave that has the tape?
Yep.
Or was there more than one that has the tape though? I thought
there's Soundwave, and then there's his upgraded form after he was destroyed. They rebuilt him as Sound Blaster, I think.
Oh, okay.
And then I think it was Sound Blaster.
Was that doesn't one transform into like a ghetto blaster?
Yeah, that's Blaster basically here.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Blaster.
I remember friends having that one.
If it'll load up. Okay, yeah, this one.
Yep, that's one.
This is actually one I've been working on some customs now that I'm on vacation. I've been doing some custom paint jobs. This is like going to be like one of the hardest jobs that I'm going to try to do because I want to try to make it look as authentic as possible, even though it's not going to be possible. I'm going to do my best. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're trying to make one that you just showed me look like this?
Yeah. I had to get me one of the sound waves from, like earlier in the winter,
Yeah.
I have it all bagged up and ready for custom painting. It's just time and everything. But I
Sure.
want to repaint it as like this. And then
Mhm.
I gotta find a way to get a head because the head of Soundwave and Blaster don't look the same. So
Oh, gotcha.
everything else I'm willing to kind of go lax on, like with the legs and everything.
Right. Okay. Do
It
close
has to
enough.
have the head though, it has to have the head.
How are you gonna get ahead?
I don't know. The thing I like is that when I make these for me,
Mm.
there are people who actually do custom jobs to sell them. Hey, I don't mind, that's what makes you happy. That's what makes you happy now. So what I could possibly do is just, do a nice repaint of a Soundwave into Blaster. And my lore can be, because there are figures that have the same kind of head that are just repainted,
Yeah.
I could always say like, Blaster and Soundwave basically they were made on Cybertron basically at the same time. They're just different colors, but that's the lore I could always come up with in my head,
Gotcha.
But whereas Soundwave talks in a monotone computerized voice, Blaster, it still talk normally,
Oh. And didn't
But
they? So the tapes are different things, right? One was like a
yeah,
hawk or something, and one was like a panther.
Let's see here. Soundwave. Let's see. Soundwave. CASS sets. Transformers. G1 picks. Yeah, it originally started off with like 4.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. Here's a good example. Let's see here. Hopefully, okay. So you have God, I can't recall if he was supposed to be a hawk. One is supposed to be a hawk, if I remember, and the other is supposed to be a condor. I
Oh,
can't
okay.
recall which one is which, but you have Laserbeak, which is the red one,
Yeah.
Buzzsaw, which is the yellow one, Ravage, which is the now before I continue on, what does that look like to you? Does that look like a dog or a cat?
Oh, I thought it was a panther. I thought it was a cat, but
Yeah, it's actually a cat. But when I was younger, until recently, I always thought it was a dog, to be honest.
oh yeah, I can see that.
And then there's always been kind of a confusion with the two guys here.
Yeah.
One is called Rumble and the other is called Frenzy. But because when Toy Biz, Hasbro, when they were because these were not originally Transformers, they were ported over from Japan from other lines, toy lines,
Mm-hmm.
And basically they were not really, Hasbro did not really care about the lore that much.
Mm-hmm.
Only a select few did, and the higher ups at Hasbro really did not. So basically, when it came to the cartoons being made, because the figures came out first and then the cartoons, basically when it came to the script, every few pages they would have like the IDs of these two mixed up,
Right.
So like, so it's like no one's really sure, is Rumble the red one, Frenzy is blue. It's been a discussion till the end of time.
It's like they're twins. You don't know which is which.
Yeah.
You just have to be colorblind.
Yeah. But that's basically been my toy memories. The only Transformer I can honestly, I remember having them, but I cannot remember like how I got 99% of them. I remember getting Optimus Prime G2, and I got him for Christmas. But the only one I can really remember is Grotesque TSQ? Grotesque Transformers G1. My father, let's see here. At this time, my parents were divorced. And he could only come down either for the winter, pick me up for Christmas, or he'd come down and visit for like a couple days during the summer. Well, he knew I liked Transformers, and he took me to KB Toys one time, and he got me this one.
Huh.
And I wish I still had. I have the newer release of this one. I'll show it to you later. But the special gimmick of this one, because at this point, granted, transformation was always gimmicks,
Yeah.
But as the series was slowly dying, they started to do new things with the figures, try to get more interest brought up.
Sure.
Well, the thing is, on the top of the head, you see a purple plunger here.
Actually.
You would press that really quick, and sparks would fly out of its mouth.
Oh, really cool.
Yeah. I did that so many fucking times. There was nothing left on the little stone on the inside of the mouth.
Right.
Yeah. So, and the
I wonder
sad
if they
thing,
still. I mean,
the sad
it's
thing
a little
is,
bit like a fire hazard. I wonder if they'd still
Yeah.
do that nowadays.
oh, I'm probably sure they don't. But then again, they've also neutered a lot of the concepts of the original Transformers. Like this one,
Like none of them have penises anymore.
I don't even think. Well, I'm not sure that was actually somebody making a GIF.
Neutered.
I think. There's a GIF I saw a long time ago. One of the figures was a tank that would transform into a robot. And when it came for the barrel,
right,
the barrel would come out from between its legs. I'm not sure if that was actually a legitimate animation or if that was somebody just putting it up online.
That's funny.
But yeah, regarding like this one, this was part of a group of three, and they would all spit sparks.
That's cool.
And like you said, fire hazard, so they probably never let that go anymore. And then one of the figures I never had, which I jumped at getting now, with my current collection, is Megatron. If you have Transformers, you got to have a Megatron.
Yeah.
Well, back then, Megatron actually turned into a gun.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is like nowadays, because of laws, which, like I said, would be different if I ran this country, but I'm not going that direction right now. They made it first. They made it so like chrome guns no more.
Yeah.
Government says that's a big no-no. So they basically put an orange cap on the end of Megatron's gun, the barrel.
Yeah.
To indicate that it was a toy.
Right.
And then they changed him from a gun to a tank.
Yeah.
And over time they've been trying to get him sold in the U.S. as a gun again. But the companies like Walmart, Target,
yeah,
and to a lesser extent before they closed down, KB's and Toys R Us would not allow it, even though they had it painted like orange,
yeah,
and which I think is kind of hypocritical because you will not allow the sale of Megatron as a gun, but you still have fucking Nerf guns that look like guns.
Yeah, and they sell real guns at like Walmart.
Yeah. There is oh god, me and Mom were at Target a few days ago, so and they have I'm guessing it's a Walmart brand because I've never seen it before. It's called Action Force. And one of the toys I saw was a toy shotgun. It was not like a Nerf toy shotgun. This fucker was like a pump gauge shotgun. The only difference was it was like a cheap Nerf version.
Right.
But you're telling me you can sell that, but you can't sell Megatron as a gun.
Okay, aside from the gun debate, though, I always thought it was weird that he'd be a gun because how does a gun control itself? Like, doesn't that imply someone has to grab him?
Yeah, that's basically what it was that he had to trust his lieutenants enough that when he transformed, they would hold him and carry out.
They aim him and everything, right?
Like,
he's not really doing anything.
Yeah, because there's a guy who does retrospectives about Transformers. And he basically put it pretty good. He said that Megatron had to have enough faith in his crew to carry out his orders and the Decepticon cause when he was in gun mode.
Right.
And there was one figure that fucking hated Megatron, and that was Starscream.
Right.
Starscream always tried to take over, and like, but he trusted Starscream enough to wield him as gun,
And when did that change in the cartoon?
Basically, he was Megatron was a gun all the way until the Transformers, the movie, and I think it came out in like 86 or 87. Yeah, let's take a look. Let's take a look. The Transformers, the movie. Yeah, it looks like it was 86. Which I think is the best. I know I'm gonna, get shit thrown at me for this, but personally, I prefer the cartoon movie to the fucking Michael Bay films.
Oh yeah.
To me, they
I'm
all
with you
look,
on that.
with the exception of Optimus and Bumblebee, because they're so fucking brightly colored, it makes it easy to tell who they are. You can stick a whole bunch of other ones. Who the fuck are they? They're all black. They're all black. What?
Right.
Did they fucking run out of blue palette? But yeah, so yeah, and he was a gun in this one to like the early point of the movie when both him and Optimus had their final battle. Optimus died, and basically, Megatron was on the verge of death and didn't help that Starscream. They were like in a shuttle heading back home, and they decided that they had to jettison extra mass because the shuttle was not going to have enough power to get back home, And Starscream had the idea, let's get rid of all the damaged ones. And they threw out a lot of them. A lot of the ones that were damaged were already dead by the time that they were thrown out. And Megatron looks at, because Soundwave is holding Megatron, and he has a smirk on his face. And he goes, "Oh, how it pities me to do this," meaning throw him out into space. Megatron looks at him and goes, "Wait, I still function." And Starscream looks at him and goes, "Wanna bet?" And then he just throws him out,
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then he gets reformatted into Galvatron.
Oh, that's how it happened.
Oh yeah. But so that was me, talking about my toy memories. What do you have that you can like to talk about regarding toys?
I'm not sure if mine count as toy memories so much, because mine are more video game memories.
Okay,
and they were toys at the time, essentially. I mean, they were the thing that I, spent money on or got. And actually, it wasn't even money. So my dad worked at Sears in the electronic department. And so from the youngest age I can remember, like I think he had Coleco like in 1983. I was like 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
And then Atari 2600 after that, when I was, at least, I couldn't have been older than 6. And I was playing Star Wars, the arcade game at home, or Jungle Hunt, or like different games that you could actually go and play for quarters, but I was playing them at home.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, I kind of agree that it wasn't instant, but once the, like ColecoVision, all these home game systems first, that was like literally the beginning of the writing on the wall for arcades. It's like, you can stick a fork in it. It's only a matter of time until that turkey is done.
Well, if we can count that as toys, though, I think the golden era of arcades, it started for me at like pizza places, right?
Yeah.
Like you'd either have the table arcades with Miss Pac-Man or regular Pac-Man, or you'd have like the pole position games, or they had other like really primitive driving games.
Oh yeah.
Even like ones that you actually could see the little car.
Yeah, it was basically, it was like a little
cutout of a car.
And then it was like on a treadmill of the same
right.
image.
It was going through and like lights, like somehow the lights would track if you hit stuff. But asking my mom for quarters was like, that was like half my childhood. Can I have a quarter? Mom, can I have a quarter? Can I have a quarter? Because of all those games. And then Skate World. Did you ever go to Skate World?
Oh yeah, I remember Skate World. It fucking sucked that it closed, but I remember. Yeah.
But the arcade line, so they had a whole line of arcade games.
Yeah.
Pinball too. So it was pretty much games for me all the time. The only thing I collected were baseball cards, and that was mostly because my grandpa was into that. So but I probably spent, that's what I spent almost all my free time doing, was playing games.
Well, when I say toys, I maybe I should have just said childhood memories. It's just that's what just popped in my head. But as long as you like it, that's all that matters. It could have been toys, it could have been video games, it could have been a collection of pizza cutters. As long as it made you happy.
Yeah, and like traditional toys, I mean, I had a racetrack. I had the Dukes of Hazzard racetrack, which I loved because you chase around. They have a little jump that they go over, and
Yeah.
so you have the sheriff car and the
Y-
General Lee.
You should have kept it, because the way that society's going now, any
I'd be in big
anything,
trouble
yeah,
if I had
anything
it
with the
now.
General Lee, oh man, that's, oh
Right, the
no, no,
Confederate
can't
flag.
have that bad boy.
Right. I know it's so weird. Like the stuff that I mean, you're an innocent kid, like
Yeah.
you don't even think of anything except like, oh, it's a design.
Yeah,
And
well,
then later you
that,
find out that like, oh, that was like the swastika, I guess.
yeah, the cancel culture is getting on it, dude. I remember actually, because people have been putting together like ideas. What There's a term in Transformers called combiners. They're the ones that make big robots.
Yeah.
One of them that people, because Hasbro has been reaching out to these other companies. I think you got me one of the figures before, the Back to the Future one.
Oh, uh-huh. Yeah.
Well,
Crossover kind of.
people are doing like real nice artist renderings of what they would like to see Hasbro do.
Mm.
And for a combiner, one of the combiners had like vehicles like the A-Team as the chest part, the van, A-Team van.
Yeah.
For one of the legs, it was the Knight Rider's car.
Oh, cool.
And then
Hit.
the other leg was the General Lee.
Oh,
And
yeah.
oh my god, they put those things up on Facebook, and cancel culture. Oh, that looks good, but you can't fucking have that, General Lee. That is a bad thing to have, and you're a bad person if you like it, and you should be canceled. Fuck off. Like,
It is weird too, because like according to like the way we were raised, right?
yeah,
The Dukes of Hazzard are like, they're like rebels. They're like anti-cop, right?
yeah,
Like
and that's what,
anti-cop corruption, like
and
boss dog.
that's what the freaking uh a lot of the defund the police is right now. Like
Right. So you'd think they'd be allies in some ways, but like there's so many rules and symbols
yeah,
about what you can and can't
it's
do.
because of the flag. And the thing is, from what I've heard, now I'm not a history major, so don't, there are actually groups in history that actually use the swastika, but it was used differently.
Sure, I think
Before,
it's an
but
Egyptian symbol,
yeah,
possibly, or something.
before Hitler took over, co-opted it, it was used by other groups.
Yeah.
The symbol is not in my, now this is, in my mind, the symbol is not evil. It's the people who put it to a certain use
Right.
that makes it evil. Like,
And then it becomes like Voldemort, like we just never going to speak of it again. Like,
yeah,
well, why? Like, are we afraid of it? Like, are we not adult enough to like know what it is and understand the implications, but also understand that like it was a part of people's childhoods that they enjoyed?
yeah.
Like,
I think honestly, people who are born prior to 2000, they're, as much as I know this is going to get some flack, people born after 2000, I think honestly they're not adults. I know physically they are, once they, but I mean, like, they've been so twisted and everything by the way society has become. Like, you cannot have your own voice anymore. You have to go with their herd mentality. Like, and if you
you think
don't,
that was different? I mean, before, like,
I'm pretty sure it was there prior to 2000, but it isn't as
it's more
forced.
cohesive now because of the internet. Like now everybody can be on the same page. Like
Yeah,
before, it was always like, I don't know, within like any high school or whatever, like there's cliques and stuff, but like
yeah,
now you can get a whole country full of a clique.
yeah, and they
like,
never meet each other. That's one. Yeah, granted, we use in that, and as much as I hate to say it, I don't like it because it fosters this kind of. I think if you're going to tell somebody that they're wrong, they should have the right to look at that person in the eyes.
Sure.
Because if somebody goes up to me and goes, "Jeff, you're a piece of fucking shit," because you think that the flag is not inherently evil, it's the use of it, that determines it. Fine,
Yeah.
that's your right. Tell it to my fucking face. And 99% of people will not do that.
You mean in a shitty way, like be a snot about it or be an ass?
Well, no, I'm just talking about on the net. They can just come up to you and say you're a piece of shit. You should have.
But you wouldn't mind if somebody told you in a polite way, would you?
Well, no, I wouldn't mind, but still, it's like, okay, like I would rather have people tell it to my face.
Sure.
Be a man. I'm not gonna fucking beat the shit out of you unless you make it physical.
Yeah, it'd be nice if there was a button on the internet that could like challenge them to a fight, and then it
Yeah.
would be set up, and then like it's on pay-per-view.
Okay. But that now moves us into the wild card.
Okay.
And this wild card is one that I've been kind of curious, wanting to talk about. And I think it goes into some of my mental issues. Can you see this at all, Aaron? I'm just curious.
I can see the topics.
Oh, topics. Okay, let's see. Hold on. Let me see if. Hold on. Let me. Okay, let's. Okay, my wild card.
Oh,
It's
there
a
you go.
psychological question. Is thinking
Okay.
in black and white a bad thing? What do you think?
Good question. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think it can be valuable to kind of categorize things. I think it's dangerous. So here, let me give an example.
Okay, go ahead.
So let's say you're doing something that's like a 50-50 chance, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens 51%, sometimes it happens 49%. So it'd be like gambling, let's say, with a roulette wheel, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's essentially going to be black or red, 50-50, except there's the two greens,
Yeah.
the two zeros.
Those fuckers.
Right, throwing it off for everybody. So that gives the house a little bit of odds. Now, if you're doing it in black and white, you'd say that you always have to play like one way or the other, and that wouldn't be very realistic. Like, I mean, that's to me the danger is like there's too many situations in life that may be like 50-50 or 60-40. And to me, black and white implies confidence. Like, okay, we're doing it this way. This is what we're rooting for, or whatever,
Yeah.
rather than like, I'm 51% sure.
Yeah.
But
And I understand that. Me, I personally, I know, I like, I honestly don't, and, I had this conversation with my mom. I asked her, Mom, does it sound like I'm a person who deals only in black and white? She goes, yeah, you don't see shades of gray. And honestly, I kind of like that because I have that assurance, like, yes, that person's a piece of shit, or no, he's not. Or
it has to be all or nothing.
Yeah, it's like I cannot see in shades of gray, and I did some research prior to this, and some of the things that they mentioned is like personality types.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't see it, but they say like one of the personality types is narcissistic people.
Sure.
And it's like, I don't view myself as narcissistic. I don't think I'm perfect, But then
Right.
I kept reading, and then one of the things was people with psychological disorders like depression and anxiety and stuff, because they view people who have depression and anxiety, people who are black and white type people, it gives them a sense of control.
Right.
That, and I can understand that, like, but the general conception is that black and white thinking is not good because it does not allow you to see other people's points of view.
I think it doesn't fit very clearly into the real world.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it's interesting, like, so let's say like a robot, right? A robot would think black and white because they're always going to know what the most probable thing is. And so they're just going to choose that. So even if it's like a 51-49, they're like, well, I'm going to always choose 51. It's like a binary choice. Like you're always going to choose the thing that gives you the best option. And so I think there's definitely like ways where that can be okay.
Do you now? Without going too much into what you used to do, for your job.
Yeah.
Did you ever work with or talk to people who were black and white thinkers like me? Like, or is that, or is black and white something that's kind of rare in people? What do you think?
It's not that common. I think usually with the anxiety and depression stuff, it's the opposite. Like they're doing like 100 different scenarios. Like, what if this and what if this, or like, this is an unknown. So it's almost never black and white, because black and white's simple. It's either this or that, right? It's either on or it's off. And but they're doing like 100 different scenarios.
And that's kind of like what I talked to you about regarding the oil issue.
Right.
I told you, like I was having, but to me, it's like either, granted, I was thinking of like, it could be this, or, or this could be, all these different things could happen. Right. But also, like, the way I view it is like, it's either going to be okay.
Yeah.
Or it's not. Or it's not. And, and the way I am, I'm constantly always in that camp of it's not going to be okay.
Right. Right.
So,
but when hasn't when hasn't it been okay? And we can actually, I mean, I was kind of going to do that for my wild card was a couple of like, what was one of the best days of your life and what was one of the worst days? Not like the best or the worst, but that's what I wonder is like, when has it ever been so bad that it was worth worrying about as much as you worry about, you know?
Okay, well, we'll spin this into your wild card now that you mentioned.
Okay, segue.
Yeah, regarding the question, like when was, when I think was the worst?
Yeah.
I'm not going to give specifics. You know about what I've done, like my job and stuff.
Yeah.
My job previous to what I'm doing now, when I would come home and, like it was just, I would get like 1 or 2 hours a day, if that, and like how I was literally, I was, at the point I was kind of suicidal. Remember I told you about that?
Yeah, you were miserable.
Yeah. So that was like the worst point I've ever been.
And that was, I mean, that wasn't really just like one day. That was like a cumulative effect
yeah,
of like a bunch of
that was
terrible.
that my entire time at that job.
Right. That's so
And
shitty.
yeah, and then my best time I think was when I graduated, because it actually showed that I could, I could accomplish something. I dropped out of school, so I did not graduate when I should have, but by graduating, college and getting my degree, that was actually something I could say, hey, look, this is something I did, and everything I accomplished.
And you had to overcome so many obstacles on the way, even with like financial aid. Like it was a nightmare over and over again.
I'm still kind of, I won't lie, I'm still kind of bitter when it comes to that, but what are you going to do? I'm actually looking. Well, the thing is, if I move to Spokane, because we were talking about that also, I also once I'm in a good place and everything, I was actually thinking about going back to college, and I'm pretty sure there must be a college in Spokane or something.
Oh yeah, there's a couple. I mean, Eastern Washington's in Cheney, which is just like 20 minutes south.
Okay.
So it's Eastern Washington University, but they also have Gonzaga and Whitworth. I think they have a UW distance campus, and Pullman's really close to Washington State. So.
But yeah, so I'm thinking about once everything gets done, I'm actually thinking about going back to college just to get the next step up, because I got my associates.
Right.
So the next one would be bachelor's. And then master's and stuff. So
yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, but
and then with the job you're doing now, though, like I wonder what would you be wanting to add, or would you want to be doing something totally different?
I was thinking about becoming a teacher of some sort.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
But the thing is, right now, I can't, because right now, regarding the financial aid issue, I'm pretty sure that from what I heard, that you have to wait years before you can get, refreshed on financial aid and everything. Oh. So, and I have loans out already, so that's also kind of no go,
Yeah. I don't know anybody that's our age that doesn't have loans.
Yeah.
That's like our birthright.
And then if I remember correctly, wasn't Biden supposed to help that?
They mentioned it a lot. I remember like my ears kept going up a little bit when I'd be like, oh, what?
Yeah.
That might benefit me.
And then he kind of backed away from it.
I felt like it was a bait and switch.
Yeah, and that's why once again, I don't like fucking politicians.
Yeah, I don't trust them. Like I'll believe it when I see it in my bank account.
Yeah.
Not a minute before, but I'm always like that too. Like with the selling of the house, like I'm totally like, I'll believe it when.
Yeah, well, it happened though, So you just.
Well, but we still have all the like, I'll believe it when it's official.
Well, it'll happen,
Right.
And then you'll be out of this shithole, like.
What's interesting though, so I was gonna say I mean, obviously, like the day my daughter was born and like the day I got married, there's like all the kind of cliche days. But those are really hard days. Like the day I got married, me and Sunny both worked. We met at the courthouse, and our daughter was 7 months old. And we were sleeping at all. Like that was a hard day. And then the day my daughter was born, like my wife had been really sick during her whole pregnancy, so that was a hard day too. But interestingly, as we're getting ready to move the house, like we sold the house, right? Like everything's supposed to close by July 12th. We're supposed to be out of here by then. But one of the happiest days of my life was when we moved into this house. And I hope that you and your mom get to experience this someday too.
Wow.
But I lived in the trailer park
Yeah.
for like, I don't know, 8 years or something, maybe a little bit longer than that. Um, and it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just,
It's yours. Were you renting or
yeah.
were you owning? I can't
No,
recall.
I owned. I mean, we
Oh,
did
okay.
space rent, like,
Yeah.
but at least you're paying off the loan. Then when we got done, the trailer sold for 18,000. That gave us enough to put a down payment on the house. So like it was really good deal.
Yeah.
But I just wanted some space, my whole life really just wanted a place of my own that I felt like safe and
Oh
like
yeah.
I was in charge of who came in the front door. And if anybody came on my property that didn't want to, I could call the cops and they could have them removed. Like that was a really good
Yeah.
feeling.
You're Lord of the Manor.
Right. You're not looking over your shoulder about like the managers for the homeowners
Oh God.
association, like
Yeah.
as you're not mowing your lawn fast enough. Like we got an eviction notice once because I didn't mow my lawn for 2 weeks
Oh fuck.
at the trailer park. And it's when I had mono, like I was super sick. So I had to like drag my lawnmower out there and do it. So stupid. So
I think honestly, because of how I am,
uh
they would not. I would never get allowed to be in like a homeowner's area. Because like yeah, you need to mow your yard. Oh, I'm sorry, you can go fuck off.
right.
I'm working. I'll mow my yard on Saturday if I'm not fucking working.
Right.
Like
It is frustrating. It makes you feel like you're a child or something. Somebody's
yeah.
always watching after you. But anyway, so when we got this house, finally, it was a pain in the ass, like to do everything we had to do. And we put every penny we had into the down payment. Like, we had no more money or anything. But when we moved everything out, it was New Year's Eve. And I moved the last boxes in. It was just me and Sonny moving everything in. Like my friend Joel helped, but he had to leave earlier, so it's just us. But I moved the last box in like 3 minutes before New Year's Day, and so Sonny called me up because we could off our deck see the fireworks that everybody lights off on New Year.
Yeah.
And I put Eden. She was like 5 or 6. I put her on my shoulders and went out there to watch the fireworks, and it starts snowing. Like it was the perfect.
So I thought you were talking about 4th of July.
Oh no,
fireworks. It was New Year's Eve.
It was New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
fireworks.
that's what you said. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm not all here right now.
No, that's okay. we also go out there for the 4th of July too. But what's interesting is like I'm almost just as excited about leaving. I don't really understand that because it was such a happy memory, and I've loved it here. But I think we're just also ready to go. Maybe
yeah, it's a new thing you're starting. That's what it is. I think.
Yeah, and she's older now. It's like she's starting the kind of adult part of her life, and she has more opinions about where she wants to be and all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah. Well, regarding your daughter getting older, I uploaded the most recent episode of Unsolved Mysteries Commentary.
Oh yeah, right.
And it's one that really makes you kind of like how much freedom do you want to give your kid? Like
sure.
As a parent, you got to be loose enough to allow them to learn because they're entering adulthood and see how the world is. But then
again, give them practice.
But then again, you got part of you also wants to clamp down and say no, you can't do that. Like in that case that I uploaded, it's a good example, and it's like what I talked about in my final thought. Because the spoiler alert, basically a teenage girl was kidnapped less than 200, I think it was like 200 feet from her home.
Oh my God.
And then if I understood it correctly, she was buried just within like 1,000 feet of her home or something like that.
Wow.
So it's like I said in the video, I said, if I had a daughter, I would make her sit down with me and watch this video, this case, and I'd be like, this is why I tell you can't go out at night.
Right.
Like
well, that's probably a better way to parent than not just say, hey, because I said so, or because it's dangerous. Like you could actually say, look, this happened to somebody.
Yeah.
These are the people who had to live and know that that happened. Or it's pretty awful. Okay. So like, consistent with our personalities.
Yeah.
I said that we should think of the best thing and the worst thing. You did the worst thing and I did the best thing.
Yeah, I said the graduation when I graduated.
Oh, that was your best. That's right.
Yeah.
You just didn't elaborate as much on that.
Oh, well, it's because it was something I was able to see through all the way to the very end,
Right. Did it hit you that day? Like, were you proud of yourself that day, or was it kind of like a overtime sort of thing?
It's kind of overtime, but I mean, it sounds kind of weird, but it was kind of overtime, but it was also instantaneous because I was actually able to look up in the bleachers and see my mom there.
Oh, that's cool.
So that I'm proud my mom got to see that. And then over time, more and more, I'm kind of happy. Even though trying to find that job after graduation was really hard.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's one thing I want to let people know. You need, it doesn't matter if you graduate from college or you go to trade school. I think that they also kind of give you a false lie per se, because they're like, oh, you get a high school or a college degree, you can find a job. It's true, but they don't say how long it takes.
Right. Or how that job might be.
Yeah, they
not
don't
your
say,
ideal job.
Yeah, they don't say anything like that. They just say you can get your job if you get a college degree. And it's true. But I spent almost 7 months
To get a horrible job.
Yeah, every day just beating the street, only to
Right.
get that first horrible job,
Right.
which finally spun off to what I'm doing now, which I enjoy.
Right. And I'm hoping that this will spin off into something you really, really enjoy.
Yeah.
Because that is kind of how it goes, but it is stupid, like it's a trial by fire, like they just stick you in the worst possible position. And then if you survive it, then they'll reward you. If you don't, I guess you just become a homeless person or end up in jail or something.
Well, there's been days, I'm not saying that my job is perfect. I love it, but there's been some hard days.
Oh, you totally, yeah. Your job's one of the hardest jobs I can think of.
There's been times like, when without going into too many specifics, when I'd be beat up by students and stuff.
Right.
I'm getting beat up, I'm sitting there, putting band-aids on and stuff. I'm thinking to myself, would it really be that bad if the next time he hits me, if I just went ape shit crazy on him? Right. But then I snap back. It's like, yeah, I don't want to go to jail.
Right.
Yeah. So
that would be end of your
yeah
career at least.
Oh yeah, but nah, it just you. I think it's a sign of how strong you are if you can actually move past it.
Yeah. Well, it's super hard at the job. I mean, like I've never been actively assaulted at the job that I've been at. Like I worked as detention officer at juvenile, where the rule was if anyone touches us, even on accident, that you get a year added to your sentence. And that was no matter what. I think I told you before, like somebody threw a chair and it bumped somebody and they added a year for assault. And it was a plastic chair, like it didn't hurt anybody.
But so the thing is, with the students I worked with, or I still work with, even if there were punishments for beating up the teachers and stuff, I don't think that they could comprehend it though,
Right. But I'm just saying, like, for you to have to endure that, like that's harder than any job I've ever heard of. Like detention officers don't do that. Like you can't hit a cop, like you can't hit a teacher, like.
Well, nowadays you can hit it. At least here you can hit a teacher. It won't end pretty. It won't end pretty, but the way it is now, they'll probably just say you have to go through counseling and then come back.
Oh,
whereas back in the day, if you hit a teacher, out would come the paddle and everything. The Board of Education, as it used to be called.
Right? Did they ever do paddling in the school that you went to?
No. By the time I was in school, they stopped that, but it was still talked about. It isn't talked about anymore because God forbid you can't punish the kids. I know I'm getting on a soapbox, but I think honestly, lack of punishing kids is the reason we're ending up in the situations we're in. But that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah. Well, and I mean that's one of the things we have differing opinions on, because so like we had the foster kids when I was a kid, and obviously you can't spank foster kids, right? Like they are in your care. It is in the foster system. Like there's really strict rules about that. But what I found was like it was way easier to help those kids. Like we never had trouble. We never had discipline problems with those kids. And we never had to punish them. So like it really changed my mind on like, what are we doing when we're punishing someone? Like we're trying to teach them, right?
Yeah.
You're not trying to teach somebody if you just hurt them, right? And you say, you say like, oh, this is wrong, and to help you remember it's wrong, I'm going to hurt you, right? Like that doesn't change their mind about, like, let's say they want to eat a cookie, right?
Yeah, you don't spank them because of that, but I mean, you should have, physical reaction should be involved if it's getting to that point. You don't spank a kid over taking a cookie.
You mean
spank,
like if they're assaulting somebody else?
Yeah, you spank a kid if they're literally attacking somebody. Like there should be limits to that. You don't just up and smack the shit out of a kid because he did something stupid.
What do you think they learn though? Like, let's say you got a kid and he hits another kid, right? So you spank him. What did they just learn?
That by hitting another person equates to this is what it's like, how can I say it?
If you hurt someone, you're gonna hurt.
I want them to understand the pain that you're feeling is probably the pain that they felt.
Right. So it is empathy. You are trying to teach something. You're trying to teach them, hey, other people have feelings just like you have feelings. So it's almost like the golden rule. At some point, like, do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Yeah, the pain that you give to them, this is what it felt like for them. Like,
do you think that's easier for them to understand when you actually hurt them rather than just tell them?
I think, because telling them only, in my opinion, which, everybody has opinion. As Mom says, don't take this the wrong way. Mom says opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one.
No, that's true. Absolutely true. Except for people that were born assholeless and then they just have a horrible life. Short-lived.
Yeah.
Heavy set people.
But it's just I think that physical reaction should be used when needed. I'm not saying all the fucking time. There's times you could talk to them. Hey, this is why it's wrong to steal, and point out, like, by stealing, it's hurting your parents.
Right.
It makes you look bad to other people because they're not going to be able to trust you down the road.
Right.
That's something you could talk to them about.
Yeah.
You find your kid is attempting to assault, or I know it's getting extreme things. Let's say you try to sexually assault somebody. You catch your kid doing that. Yeah. Pull them off. Either slap them across the face, tan their ass,
What I'm saying though is a kid like that, you're not going to help by doing that. Like, if they're already deciding to kind of do those kind of things, hitting them isn't going to make them want to stop doing those things.
Are you sure about that?
It's going to make them want to stop getting caught.
So you don't think that?
If somebody's already at a psychological position where they're like, oh, my needs are more important than other people's needs, and I'm willing to assault someone else, like, that's already gone wrong. That's not a learning issue. That's a sadist issue, like a sociopathic issue.
So you don't think that by, like, say, or you see your son beating the shit out of a handicapped kid or whatever, you don't think that by I'm not saying like turn the kid into a punching bag, but a good slap across the face, maybe a good swatting, you don't think that could actually change their trajectory about what, make them reconsider what they're doing?
I guess I just don't see like what they've learned other than, if I get caught doing this, they're going to hurt me. They didn't learn anything about why this was wrong necessarily, or, why would I want to do this to somebody? Why would I want to hurt someone that's vulnerable or anything like that? They're just, I mean, they learn something. What they learn is very simple. If someone sees me do this thing that I want to do, I don't know why they want to do it, but they obviously want to because they did it. If somebody catches me doing this, they're going to hurt me. That's all they learn. They don't learn anything else about, like, why would you want to do this, or all those other things you kind of talked about before.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is interesting about punishment is, like, you can punish people for doing, I mean, people do what they want to do at the end of the day. Whether they want that's what they're going to do. That's what I've learned about, like, in mental health, for example. Like I can't stop people from doing what they want to do. They're going to do what they want to do. They might get really elaborate about how they hide what they're going to do or whatever, but until they stop wanting to, they're going to do it one way or the other.
And I understand why you say that. I guess we just have two different ways of looking at it.
I think the question then is, how do you help someone recognize and then want to stop? And then for the people that don't want to stop, you got to stop them one way or the other. And I think that's where we more agree, is like, I mean, that's when it becomes a police issue or a bigger punishment issue. But I do think punishment tends to be overused.
Well, hopefully one of these days we don't have to do it. But honestly, the way I see things going, it's still going to be a lot of dark days before it gets to that point, I guess you could say.
Well, that's true. Humans do a lot of dark days.
Yeah. Okay, well, that marks the end of this episode of Shooting the Shit with Jeff and Aaron. I just want to once again say thank you to Aaron for spending some time with us.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for Aaron, I'm pretty sure that nobody would be listening to me because I'll be thinking I'm a fucking loon.
We can both be loons.
Wow.
I think what's interesting is like I think people disagree with us probably equally. Like we don't always agree with each other, but
I think that
we tend to be loners.
Well, the thing is, you're a nice kind of way. You have a nice way of doing it that people. I disagree with you, but they're more reasonable and they're nice. Whereas me, because of how abrasive I am, they're like, no, fuck you.
Well, I get a lot of fuck yous too, though.
Really, you don't seem like that though.
Well, it depends on what I'm talking about, right? Like if you're talking to a pro-choice or about why pro-life people are the way they are, or you're talking to a pro-Second Amendment person about why gun rights, might be overdone.
Well, I can imagine people disagreeing, but you actually get people saying "fuck you" though. That's what kind of
Not that directly. You probably get
I get a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm constantly in Facebook jail.
You get the slurs.
Yeah. Too. Oh God. Let's not get on that.
During Pride Month, I told Eden about that. She was very upset.
Yeah. Okay. Well, before I stop the recording, I just want to let everybody know that currently in Kelso, we are currently at 94 degrees, and it feels like 102.
That's what I was thinking. Feels like 102.
Yeah, and tomorrow is supposed to be 110.
Oh, down to 110 now.
Yeah, we're gonna have an ice storm compared to that 111.
That's nothing. I like the low of 71. That feels weird. Like I'm gonna go outside at 4 a.m. just to experience that.
And then Monday we have a high of 106.
That'll be easy after the 110.
Yeah, and then the bottom basically drops out starting Tuesday.
Right.
So if you are watching this and you live in Kelso or Longview, just hold on. We're going to, we only have a couple more days. Just hunker down.
And I do hope everyone's staying safe out there. Like I know it's no joke when your air conditioner quits working or like people don't have it.
You would not believe what I saw on Facebook today. Somebody was scalping air conditioner.
Oh, of course they were.
And the thing was, they were wanting like $175. The control module was broken. It had duct tape wrapped around the power cord. It had the whole frame was fucked up. $175 because it's an industrial. It's like fuck off. Fuck off. You're scalping. For shame on you, motherfucker. But that's basically it. But if you are a fan of Unsolved Mysteries commentary, two friends watching Unsolved Mysteries, do you plan on being on tomorrow, or
I do, yes.
Okay, so this is just a reminder: if you do watch two friends watching Unsolved Mysteries, we will be doing the Cindy James episode, which it's very polarizing in the fandom. Ooh. Some people think she did kill herself. Some people like me think she did not. And I'm the type of person that if somebody goes up and goes, Jeff, you're wrong, I'll be like, well, you kiss my ass, you're wrong.
Well, we'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah, we will have a good in-depth, viewing of it.
Right.
And just, I just want to say thank you to all watching. And I guess that is it. Got anything you want to say, Aaron?
Nope. Signing off.
Okay, take it easy, everybody.
Take care, everyone.
Peace out.